Hello GameSpot, and welcome to a very rare video blog by Just Plain Lucas. I don't seem to be doing them as often as I used to. Anyway, I just wanted to talk about the Wii U, and if you read my previous blog, you know that I bought pre-ordered the Deluxe Black Edition with the 32 gigabit memory and Nintendo Land being included, among some other extras. So it's kind of weird because I'm excited that I'm getting one, but then again I'm not as excited as I was with getting the Wii. I guess one of the reasons why is there's a part of me that kind of has resentment towards Nintendo for their business decisions that they've been doing throughout the many years, but then there's the other part of me, the unconditional gamer, that just, you know, really wants to play the system regardless of what it is. Anyway, I just wanted to talk about what I just read on GameSpot with the first-party games being confirmed as $59.99 MSRP, and I just wanted to express my feelings about it. We as gamers have been kind of used to Nintendo selling their games less than the competition for years. DS games were cheaper than PSP games. Wii games were cheaper than PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 games. You know, well, there was a reason for that, because Nintendo's hardware has always been cheaper to make and, you know, cheaper to develop for because it was weaker than the competition. So Nintendo comes along and they're getting ready to release this, a new system that is a few margins better than the 360 and PlayStation 3, as it should, for those two consoles being 7 years and 6 years old respectively. So now they think that it's okay to start charging the same price for the first-party software as the rest of the competition. And do their games being finally, you know, displayed in HD, does that qualify? Does that make it right for them to charge the same $60 as their competition? Well, since they're on the same since they're on the same playing field as far as graphics go, I guess so. But we as gamers have been kind of spoiled for that, and we've kind of taken it for granted, and I kind of want to remind myself more specifically, that at least we're not paying $80 for the games like we used to back with the Nintendo 64. And that was in 1996, when those cartridges came out. They were $79.99 MSRP, US dollars. And that's just ouch. I mean, back then, I just started working at McDonald's up at the airport. That was my first job, my after-school job, and you know, it took me like 4 or 5 months to save up enough money to buy the system at $250, and then to buy the two games that were only available at the time, which was Super Mario 64 and Pilot Wing 64. You know, two games I spent $160 on when the system itself cost $250. So you know, we kind of have to just kind of grit our teeth and bear it, and just say, okay, Nintendo, thank you for not following the trends of inflation for so many years. And unfortunately, that isn't enough for me to completely forgive Nintendo's decision, because I still would have liked to see the games being cheaper than the competition. That's something I've always been used to. Well, not always. Anyway. So those are my thoughts. But then I also wanted to bring up one other thing, too. I'm reading some comments on that article about the game prices, and people are still bringing up this stupid debate saying graphics do not equal gameplay, or graphics don't matter, only gameplay does. Well, that is the same kind of backwards-ass debate that is holding back Nintendo from what they could actually really be. Nintendo used to own this market. They really used to own it. But it got stolen from them, taken right from underneath their nose by Sony. And the thing is, Nintendo used to care about the graphics, because if you follow history, the NES was more powerful than the Sega Genesis. I'm sorry, the Sega Master System. The Super Nintendo was more powerful than the Sega Genesis. The Nintendo 64 was more powerful than the Sega Saturn, the Sony PlayStation, the 3DO, which apparently didn't matter. And then the GameCube was on par, or slightly better in certain areas, than the Xbox. But because of stupid business decisions and stuff, they realized that they don't want to compete anymore with Sony and Microsoft on the terms of hardware. And from a business standpoint, it's smart, but it also had collateral damage because their Wii was so underpowered that a lot of companies, a lot of developers didn't want to put up with it. Or the ones that did port one of their multi-platform games to the Wii had to really scale it down, and it was just butt ugly. You know, and developers now have a little more freedom working with the Wii U, but I can guarantee you that when the PlayStation 4 and the new Xbox, whatever that comes out, the developers are going to probably act the same way towards the Wii U as they did with the Wii. You know, I'm not a fortune teller, but, you know, I'm pretty good at guessing what might happen. So, you know, Nintendo is hoping that because their system can display in HD, that's going to make all the difference in the world. It might work for a few years, who knows? Or maybe Microsoft, I've been hearing rumors, I don't know exactly how true they are or how close they are, but that the new Xbox is not the same kind of leap over the 360 as the 360 was from the original Xbox. Anyway, I'm kind of rattling on, so I'll digress. So, you know, I just wanted to say that I really am excited for the Wii U, but I'm also still kind of cautious. Probably more cautious than I am with the Wii U because of their strategy than I was with the original Wii. So, we'll see what happens. And in the meantime, since I'm still talking about Nintendo, I want to say that there is one thing that we all know that Nintendo can do, and they can make games that stand the test of time. Because if you haven't been reading my Now Playing blog, this is what I'm currently playing. Now this is old school. This is Paper Mario from 2001 on an old Nintendo 64. So maybe in 11 years from now, we'll still see the Wii U where the Nintendo 64 was. That is, if they do it properly. So that's faith. Thanks for watching.